Welcome to Miller's Monsters, and today we take a hard right away from the mainstream films to look at the little indie film called The Haunting of Murder House. But before we do, hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell, set up for notifications so you're notified when our next video will be, and of course, there we go. Here we go. What is it? What is it? There's spoilers ahead. So, The Haunting of the Murder House. This can be found on Amazon Prime, and it's directed by Brandon Rudnicki, stars Sarah Tyson, Tyler Miller, and Dylan Devane, and it's about a group of people that are paranormal investigators, we'll call them, called The Other Side, and they go into a house where a murder occurred a year before and are going to live stream it. So the backstory to the house is, and we see this in the first part of the film, is that there was a serial killer there called Lester, and we get to the first part of the movie where you see a police officer investigating the house, and eventually he stumbles onto Lester, and he has one of his victims with a knife to her throat, and before the officer can do anything, he slices her throat right on screen. A good bit of special effects there, and he gets shot and killed. So that's our first introduction to Lester, who goes around in a clown face, and it's a creepy clown. He's obviously no Art the Clown. No one will ever be Art the Clown, but he's doing his best. So fast forward a year, and we have the group of 4 people heading out there, the Other Side group, and they're going to lock themselves into this house for overnight and see what they can find out. And so 3 people go into the house. One person stays in the truck, manning the station and the live feed, and he chains the door closed so they can't get in. The house is all boarded up, but amazingly, with one easy pry, they're able to get in the house. And so quite right away we find out that they're not the most honest paranormal investigators out there, and they're struggling to make it work. And they're setting up fake EMF sounds readings, dropping lamps by a fishing rod. Okay, so they're setting up their own suspense for the feed, but it seems to be working. And because everything you see on the internet is real, right? Their followers start gaining. So the big point of them being locked in here all night is they have to face 3 challenges, okay? And, they're all fed by the audience that's live streaming. And there's 3. One is to be locked into a room. One is the Ouija board. And the other one, which happens to be the last one, is seance. So, of course, we can't get right to the seance. That'd be getting to the end of the movie right away, right? No, we can't do that. We're going to start with the being locked in a room. And right before this, as they're setting up for this scene, we get a few glimpses of the spirit of Lester the Clown. And, we turn off the light, and all of a sudden he appears for brief seconds. And, so the one intern that they have with them, has a few glimpses of them, but doesn't say anything. So now they explored the house. They find this back room, hidden room, where there's a couple mannequins in there, one with the clown face, and this is where Kai is going to be locked in for 5 minutes, and Kai plays a big role in this eventually. So Kai's in there for 5 minutes, and nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden he can't get through on the radio to talk to the people outside, and the flashlight's going out, and he starts seeing the head on the mannequin move. Now he's starting to freak out, and now every time he glimpses at the mannequins getting closer to him, now he's freaking out, and is yelling for everybody's help, and they leave him in there, and eventually they do come get him out. And if this all seems very familiar, if you've seen what was it, Tell House, it's kind of like that, where the clown dummies come to life. And so that's the first test. And all throughout, they're trying to create drama. Their delivery, much like the acting in this film, is much like me speaking to you right now. Pretty basic, straightforward. There's no emotion in their voices or anything. So, I would say the acting in this was average at best. And so, now they're looking for more excitement going on, and they get out a spirit box, and they have planned to put a fake tape in, but all of a sudden they get something on the spirit box that so they're looking at each other. Did you do this? Did you yada yada yada. They can't figure out who did it, if it's real or what is it. So now we're on to the next challenge, which is the Ouija board. And so they do their Ouija board, the two of them, and this is where they learn that it's Lester that has been talking to him, and they ask Lester, why did you do it? Did you do it? And he said no. Well, then if you didn't, who did it? And he says the devil. Well, of course the devil made him do it. Classic insanity plea there, even for the afterlife. And I didn't know this, but they explain very clearly that you're supposed to say goodbye after your session on the Ouija board. And that's news to me. Of course, thank goodness I threw my Ouija board out after I watched The Exorcist, so I didn't say goodbye then, but I don't think it was any bother. That was many, many, many years ago when I was just a young buck. But nothing ever came of that. But that was news to me. So next time I'm using my Ouija, and maybe if you didn't know that, check out, make sure it's true. Make sure you say goodbye to your spirits after you're done using the Ouija board. And so they're using the Ouija board, and they're perplexed because, they're obviously their whole paranormal activity is a scam, and finally they're getting good results. Ratings are going through the roof, and they're looking at each other perplexed and blaming each other. Then all of a sudden the Ouija board goes crazy, starts moving all over the place on its own, and catches on fire. Flip the board over, put out the fire. They didn't say goodbye to the Ouija board, so I don't know if that's part of what happens next or just something in the movie. But now they're pretty much terrified, and the intern says, hey, listen, I didn't sign up for this. I'm out of here. He has to get talked into staying, so he does. Plus, they're locked in the house anyways, right? A couple plywoods on the doors and windows keeping them from getting out, and a chain on the door. Like, you couldn't cough real hard and knock over the plywood and get out of the house if you wanted to. That would be too tough. Or maybe just push a little on that. And you want something? Here, liven it up a little. Try and make some sense out of this. So now we're on to the third trial, which is the seance, and they go out and explain how they're taking every precaution. Thank you for bringing some joy to this one. They make the potions, draw the pentagram on the floor, put salt around the pentagram to protect them from the spirits, and conduct their seance, and nothing is happening. And they call them out again, and nothing is happening. And then Kai makes the fatal mistake of stepping out of the safety circle, or stepping across the salt in the circle, to where now the spirits can get to him, and he ends up passing out, freaking everybody out. And it's like he's choking to death, and they call the cops. The guy in the truck calls the cops, but all of a sudden Kai wakes up, so they cancel the call to the cops or to the ambulance, and decide they're just going to get out of there now. And of course they're dragging Kai, who's conscious now, to the front door, and they're trying to get to the front door, and Kai disappears while they're trying to get out, and of course, you know, the guy in the truck can't find a way to get him out the door. Like I said, it's only a couple pieces of plywood, and you know, little piggy blow my house down, and the plywood would just fall off. The whole house might fall over. I don't know. This is the most implausible part of the whole movie, is that they couldn't get out of the house. I don't know. I think I'd be able to get out of the house. So now they can't leave without Kai, plus the door's chained. And so now they have to go find Kai. And the fourth guy in the truck decides to try and get in, and he pries a little bit of plywood back and goes to climb into a window. In the meantime, the possessed Kai now, who's possessed with Lester, the clown killer, is going around the house and has dispensed of the intern with a hammer. And it was Gallagher time. All you old people know Gallagher. He took that mallet and smash, hit that watermelon, went all across. First 3 rows always had the draft in plastic. Oh, it was a hoot. Okay, so he's hammering on the intern's head, and finally the third party catches him, and now she's hiding, and now we have the chase between her and Kai, and the guy in the truck's trying to climb in the window, and somehow he gets stuck in the window. I tell you, he can't get in or out, so Lester, the possessed Kai, Lester, killer clown, grabs a hacksaw and grabs him by the hair and hacks his head off. The special effects, for this type of movie are fine. Obviously it's fake, but I like that. In a movie, I can get past that. It doesn't have to be CGI or anything. So they're quite fine throughout the movie. And then, so what do we got? What's our body count? 1, 2, 3. No, 2. Sorry, third one doesn't die until near the end. Of course, near the end, the only one left. Oh boy. Finally, Lester, or Kai, the possessed Lester, killer clown, catches her and takes care of her. And we flash forward a year later, and we got another idiot trying to make it on social media, much like me. Okay, so when I say that, talk about me. And this idiot that goes into the haunted house and wants to spend the night there as well. And as if 10 people dying wasn't enough, because Lester killed 6 people, and then, the 4 people that were there before, or 3, I'm sorry, don't count Kai. And he meets his fate by Kai, the possessed by Lester. And that's the end of our movie. So, watching this, it's more like watching Destination Fear. If you're familiar with that series, they go into a haunted location. Say they're going to spend the night. Of course, they don't lock themselves in with a chain. And, go to separate rooms and see what they can find. They got all the toys, the meters, the ghost boxes, the things that flash when there's spiritual movement nearby. Pretty much it's just another version of Fear, Destination Fear. So, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. You can watch it. It's a 2 out of 5. It's free, and it's on Amazon Prime. And if you like what you just saw, hit that subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button, set yourself up for notifications when we put out new videos, and I will talk to you later.